Hey, if you're doing $5 million in sales and you're still sweating payroll and sales taxes, you are not alone. According to Whitney Economics, about 27% of cannabis businesses are actually profitable. Well, the rest, they're barely breaking even or even losing money. So let's talk about where the cash is really going and what one of our clients did to switch from cash flow chaos to calm and clear cash flow management. I'm Kenneth Mason. This is High Profits, the financial blueprint for cannabis dispensaries. Today, we're talking about something that I see very often. Dispensaries that look successful on paper, but in reality are broke. And here's what we'll cover today. How to spot where your cash flow is leaking, a simple system to stay in control of your money, and the weekly rhythm that gives you clarity and peace of mind. So here you are. You have a steady flow of customers. You have growing sales. You're overall growing, but rent's due. You're not paying your taxes on time, and you barely have enough to even pay yourself. This episode is about building a financial foundation because making more money won't matter if you can't keep any of it. I worked with a dispensary that was bringing in roughly $5 million in sales annually, and they had only $27,000 in the bank. And so what we did was we took a hard look into their financials, their numbers, their bank statements, everything. And we saw that almost $21,000 of cash going out each month was something that they weren't even aware of. A lot of it had to do with either recurring expenses that they forgot about or things that brought no real value to their dispensaries. And 3 months later, after cutting costs and doing a better job of managing, they were able to have $110,000 of free cash flow sitting in the bank. And so that's the shift we're talking about. The first thing we're going to do is talk about what you're doing today that's hurting you, what to do instead, and how to put it into action. What are you doing today that's hurting you? You're chasing sales and ignoring your actual cash. You're being led by your bank balance and not thinking about the 12 checks you wrote yesterday that have yet to clear and be cashed, but that's already out the door and that's in someone else's hand. And then you're bleeding money through small, untracked, forgotten about expenses. It's a visibility issue, visibility into where your money is going. So what to do instead? I'm going to quickly go over our cash pillar framework. Cash, C stands for control spending. A, account for taxes. This is the cannabis industry, and 280E is still alive. S, set up your forecast. It's hard to have a plan if you don't know where you're going. And H, habitual tracking. Not every now and again, not when taxes are due at the end of the year, and quite frankly, not even just on a monthly basis when you meet with your accountant to go over your financials. I'm talking about at minimum a weekly recurring time of tracking your financials and your cash flow. So control your spending. Look at every dollar going out. Know what's fixed, know what's occurring, and know what's flat out unnecessary. A, account for your taxes. 280E and 471C. Think about these things every month and have a plan for your taxes, regardless of if you pay once a year or you pay quarterly, or even if you're a partnership and you're paying out the tax disbursements to the partners. This needs to be tracked on a monthly basis. S, set up your forecast. We normally look at a 13-week, which is equivalent to 90-day forecast, and it shows you all of your expenses that you anticipate for this week, next week, and the rest of the 13-week period. We also look at the previous 13 weeks to see where the cash has actually gone, which brings us to 8, habitual tracking. Normally it's weekly, but sometimes even daily when cash is really tight, we look at what we expect every single day for the next week, the next 90 days. At least weekly, you want to have a plan for your cash, know where it went already, but still know what you expect to happen. So block out at least 15 minutes each week to say, okay, I'm going to look at my cash flow forecast. That way we have no surprises, no stress. So how do you put this into action? We went over a couple of things and the frequency of how we want to look at it. But what you can do today is pull your last 90 days of transactions, group every expense, have it in some type of a category. Doesn't have to be as thorough as your profit and loss income statement, but highlight anything you didn't remember agreeing to over the last 90 days or expenses that you paid. You know that it was something that really didn't benefit the dispensary, or if it was something that didn't have a lot of value. You want to cancel or renegotiate or even replace things not tied to real value. Then you want to build your actual forecast. There are a lot of templates online, but the idea is to have an understanding of how your cash is going to be used in the coming weeks. So you can have your cash coming in, that's your cash in, you have a section cash out, all of the cash that you anticipate, whether that's vendor purchases or vendor payments, your bills, you have those recurring expenses, but then your cash coming in, you can look at what has been happening in your dispensary, how much cash have you been bringing in on a daily or weekly basis, and use that as a basis to get started in your forecast. And then make a habit out of taking this. Pick a day, any day, so you can get a glimpse of what's to come, but also know what has actually happened in the past. And just know it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. Okay, let's wrap it up. More sales won't fix a messy system. Cash flow clarity starts with this weekly habit, and real profit comes from real control. Control your cash, or the chaos will control you. If this hits close to home, grab our guide to building profitable and sustainable cannabis dispensaries in the show notes. This guide gives the principles that we use with our clients to help them to stop reacting and to start running their business with purpose. Let's make your money work harder for you. And remember, control your cash, or the chaos will control you. See you next time on High Profits.